Okay, 15 minutes later, and here we are. It's a good thing we stopped that one, because then I just uploaded that video, put a little description in and whatnot, and yeah, just kind of reflected a little bit. I really want to just watch back everything that happened, but that was pretty crazy. That was pretty crazy. I mean, there was a time when we first got into that sort of village bit where, Goots was there, available to buy stuff off. It warned me a couple of times, do you want to proceed? And that honestly felt like an end game thing. I was thinking, that's weird because the game doesn't often do that, where it's literally like trying to warn you, go and finish what you need to finish before you proceed or something like that. So I was a bit. The thing is, though, I knew it wouldn't be endgame because of the fact that there's still two crystals. So even if we can crush that crystal, there's still Barnabas, there's still Odin, and the final Mother Crystal. So I really didn't think it was the end. But then we just got thrown into some madness, and that was pretty cool. At one point, I did feel like it's gonna end. The way, I mean, so many people died just then. So Sylvester's dead, Annabella's dead. Olivier, I mean, is he even a real boy? I don't know, or if that was just an incarnation of Ultima, I'm not even sure. Dion's dead. So yeah, it seemed really climactic, and almost like things were gonna end. But then I was thinking, well, we've barely seen anything of Barnabas, so that can't be. And obviously the Ultima stuff. But yeah, it was crazy, crazy, crazy climax there. And yeah, this game continues to have like some really low lows, but some really high highs, and that was definitely a highlight. Probably, in fact, I would say confidently the best part of the game so far. When we first encountered Ultima and when Sid died and things like that, that's when I felt that was the highlight. But I think this chapter just overtook it. So yeah, it was crazy. Cutscenes were amazing. That boss fight was so sick. The fact that we fought Bahamut in space, because that's where he goes to do those attacks, even from like FF7 and stuff. Oh, that was just perfect. Crazy. I mean, super easy, and it's more of at times it's more of just an interactive cutscene. But to be honest, I don't mind. I've grown accustomed to it in this game, and the fact that it just looks and sounds so spectacular kind of makes up for the fact that it's not very challenging. But yeah, that was amazing. That was amazing, and I'll definitely watch it back. I've probably got an hour or so now, and I'm guessing there's going to be a load of filler shit, so let's just get through that in this hour or so. If it suddenly goes into, I mean, there's no way it's going to go into like a climactic scene right now, because, so where are we? So, Crystalline Dominion, that Mother Crystal is now crushed, so that's over. The Empire is kind of done, I guess, because Dion and Sylvester's dead. What else? Barnabas, okay, so now we know he's sort of working for Ultima. That's our next target, but he's not just going to pop out of nowhere, so yeah, I can't imagine what else there is to do. So I think there's going to be a load of filler stuff now, but that's fine. Well, depending on how bad it is.
How fares the realm?
The realm? Oh, she's just fine. As long as you look past the fat storms out Mother Crystals and her skies are a roiling cesspit.
And Gav?
He's with your uncle in the Free Cities, helping Mid with her project. Sent an owl their way the moment the winds turned foul. Still waiting on a reply, though.
Do you have any good news?
Well, that depends on your definition of good.
All right, fine. What do you suggest we do?
Oh, no, I'm just a messenger. I leave the scheming to those more suited to the task. Could be that Lady Vivian and Old Tomes have their own thoughts on the current state of things. Could be that they don't. It certainly can't hurt to ask.
I suppose not.
Wow, I can't believe how repetitive that is. After we killed Kupka, we came here, spoke to Otto, and then he said speak to Vivian, which I do enjoy. She gives quite a nice summary of stuff. Hopefully she can, maybe there's a twist in things. Oh yeah, Joshua's here. I just realised. So we have Joshua here now as well, so that's really interesting. He's obviously going to be healing for a while, probably until it's time to go for Barnabas. So we won't see him for a while, I imagine. Yeah. It's funny that the literal worst part of the game, like that solid 2 hours a couple of chapters ago, was followed by the most amazing part. It's just such an up and down game, it's crazy. I was hating it after that. I was honestly so pissed off and disappointed. And then it's brought me right back, because it just delivered in a huge way. So I don't know what I'm going to make of this game in the end. I guess if it ends on a really strong note, that's what I'll be left with. And you tend to forget just how shitty some of the parts were. So yeah, we'll see.
How is it that every one of your little excursions presages some inexplicable catastrophe? Not that you are to blame for the Dominion's fate. No one could have predicted the actions of the Crown Prince.
I'm sorry I couldn't save your home.
My countrymen are stronger than you think. A few toppled clock towers won't break their spirits. They'll be back on their feet in no time.
I hope so.
Look at us. Bluer than a pair of bog crabs. Tempting though it may be, sulking will not help us find a solution to this mess.
You believe there's one to be found?
I don't know. But I am certain we're more likely to find it if we first examine the facts.
Beneath these darkened skies, fear and confusion reign over Valisthea. Oh, the lands around the fallen Mother Crystals had already begun to wilt for want of ether. But not like this. Crystals that filled wells and fueled furnaces, now nothing but pretty shards of rock. And those that hang from the people's necks cast nary a glimmer of light to keep the dark at bay. It is only a matter of time before the common folk convince themselves that the end of days is upon us. Yet I fear a swift end is more than we can hope for. While most of the world thirsts for ether, the remainder drowns in it, spawning Akashic in droves. And amidst the hordes of mindless beasts, with magics as like to fail as function, even the strongest nation would falter. Rosaria and the Iron Kingdom teeter on the brink of collapse, while the tragedy in Twinside has all but paralyzed the Holy Empire. Dhalmekia fares little better. Rumor has it the ministers fled the capital after the fall of Drake's Fang, leaving their beloved republic to crumble. Waloed, meanwhile, moves in earnest. The Einherjar has been sighted off Storm. world, in short, is in chaos. It would seem our civilization was nothing but a castle of sand, to be washed away at the whim of the waves.
A castle of sand.
Not my best flourish, but it seemed fitting. The reports I've received are considerably more blunt in their appraisal. Without the protection of their nations, it will fall to the people to defend themselves against those who would take what is theirs.
Which is only ever going to end one way.
Defending a farmhouse against a band of chocobo thieves is one thing, but pitchforks and palisades will do little to stall an army's advance. Should the King of Waloed deign to invade, there would be none to stop him.
None but us.
What's interesting is I kind of thought the Empire, like Annabella and also Sylvester, will be kind of the last boss or the last Mother Crystal. I just thought that that's gonna kind of be where it ends. But I guess it makes sense because Ultima's the real villain of the game and the real sort of antagonist. So it'll be Barnabas where it ends. But yeah, it's not the way I thought it'd pan out. Then again, I had no idea, so I don't know what I'm talking about. I still have no idea. But I guess what's amazing is that Odin is going to be the final icon. So I guess the final boss in a way. Which again, I thought it might have been Bahamut, but when you think about it, it kind of is. Yeah, when I think about summons and their power, Odin certainly is up there.
Let me guess. You're here about the skies.
Is there anything you don't know, Lawsman?
It doesn't take a court astrologer to augur the obvious. As for what has disturbed the heavens, that, I believe, is a question the Fallen might be better placed to answer than I. And on the sixth day did the gods tear the sun from the firmament, visiting darkness upon their prideful sons and daughters. But I dare say you remember your childhood lessons on the sins of Zemeckis only too well.
You think they're connected? That Ultima was one of the gods responsible?
Well, he has certainly exhibited powers that we mortals would associate with the divine.
There is nothing divine about him.
But he wouldn't be the first god of whom that could be said, now would he? Yet for all the fairy tales that tell of the sins, there is almost nothing in the way of actual historical accounts. Had I the Journal of Moss the Chronicler, I may have been able to tell you more, but alas. I fear all remaining copies have been lost to time. You will forgive me, I hope?
Certainly not. Because there is nothing to forgive. Even without this journal, you provided us ample wisdom. and we will always be grateful for it. Perhaps Otto will be more inclined to share his thoughts when he hears what the others had to say.
Sid, did you know that chocobos are far more resilient to the effects of ether than most other beasts? Some say that's one of the reasons they were tamed for use as mounts and sumpters, so that an ether flood wouldn't mean instant death for their riders or drivers. Me, I reckon they built it up over generations. Too many foolish traders driving their birds into floods, and only the toughest surviving.
Did you see that? Tell me you saw that.
I feel like walking around and just listening to what people are chatting about.
Clive, we have a problem.
Only one. That would be a first.
It would. Actually, there are three. We had as many owls arrive while you were at the shelves. Martha's got a cashier at her gates, and talk of monsters roaming the hills outside of Northreach has put the wind up Isabel and her lot.
And don't forget Dalimil. Lubor says the village was raided by bandits.
When it rains...
It fucking pours. The curse breakers are spread thin, taking stock of the damage in the Dominion. And even if I could get word to all of them, I doubt they'd get here in time to make any real difference. Which means there's only two people who can.
Jill and I.
Let them know we're on our way.
Just said progress on certain quests is unavailable. That's interesting. Okay, so it's like, yeah, 3 places where we're gonna go and, I guess, fight a load of people. I just noticed this thing. Well, not the first time I noticed, but I forgot what this is.
How are you doing? I don't mean to be gloomy. They need all the help they can get. Here you go.
Alliant reports.
Always something in there.
How may I help you today, Clive? Off you go then.
Okay.
What will it be today? I cannot claim. Such are the wages. Ironic, then. And how could it not? But are we any better? Should I learn aught else, you will be the first to know.
Okay, I guess I'll just try it. Let me do one, see how long it'll be. Right, let's just go to this one. Dalimil Inn.
Cid! Your new companion appears much more formidable than your uncle. Should I be worried?
Jill, Clive has told me much about you.
All lies, I'm sure.
Your Stolas said that Dalimil has a bandit problem.
Indeed. Although, you're a little late. Any idea where they went? The desert's a big place, but the fact is, I have more immediate concerns.
What did you say to me? What did you say?
Ah, as if by magic. Let's just say we've yet to reach a consensus about how to solve Dalimil's little problem. And at this rate, it won't be the actions of the bandits which prove to be our undoing. It will be our own. Now, I've tried reasoning with the dissenting parties, but even the Desert Hare has limits.
Perhaps we could talk to them.
What makes you think they'll listen to her?
What makes you think they won't?
She makes a fair point, Cid. And you won't have wasted much of your precious time if you fail. Suppose we just follow the shouting.
You wouldn't talk like that if it had been your men whose throats were slit. Blood for blood, it's the only way. We hire mercenaries and have them mount the bandits' heads on our walls as a lesson to the rest.
And what happens when those mercenaries are slaughtered like your men? Are you going to hire more? We're better off using that coin to buy food and supplies. If we hire mercenaries, the only thing we're buying is the bandits' ire. And you cannot fill empty bellies with that. Do you hear me?
But what happens when they come back? Maybe it'll be your throat that's slit.
That's enough. Both of you. Any more of this and I'll throw you out myself. Come back when you're ready to talk like adults.
Victor. What's he doing here?
Cid. And... Lady Jill. What brings you here?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
Costness is in chaos, and the markets have all but ceased to operate. The Briar's Kiss here in Dalimil is the only place I can reliably obtain supplies. I was here to do just that when Master Lubor told me of his troubles. He thought I might be able to talk some sense into these fools. But if you're here, I suppose his patience must be waning.
Who are those people?
Those were the thorns in Lubor's side. And the reason this place might be headed the same way as Costness. It's these accursed skies. The darkness is enough to drive a man to madness. Or an entire city, for that matter.
We're still working on the skies. But in the meantime, perhaps we can find a solution to Dalimil's problems.
I hope so. For all our sakes.
So, you see my predicament? What I saw was a room full of people who were angry and afraid. And with good reason by the sound of it. But if left to smolder, that anger and fear could set the entire town alight. My thoughts exactly. What to do? Both sides wish to protect their homes and livelihoods, if only they could agree on how. But as long as they are divided, we are vulnerable.
And if there's one thing bandits like, it's an easy target.
What would Sid the Outlaw suggest?
Well, if it were my namesake, he'd let them choose for themselves, and be on hand to pick up the pieces when it all went wrong.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
A recipe for disaster is precisely what it is. But perhaps that realization would be enough to make them question the ingredients. While it's plain neither Conrad nor Natalie will countenance the other's proposal, it may still be possible to make them doubt their own. Before presenting them with a third option.
And that would be?
To pool our resources and save the city ourselves.
When all that fear and anger can be directed at the bandits.
It appears we have a plan of action. Victor, pay Conrad a visit. See if you can't convince him of his folly. I'll speak with Natalie.
As you wish.
Your faces are not well known in this town. Don't worry, Victor and I will do most of the talking. Play along.
What he means to say is yes.
This seems extremely dead.
You're all... Here she is. The Lady of the Spear herself. Conrad. May I introduce you to Jane, commander of the Red Wings, the oldest mercenary guild in the Free Cities.
A pleasure, my lady.
The pleasure is all mine.
As I told you, I summoned the commander here from Canver to inquire about a contract.
Victor says you told him no. That there aren't any men left to hire. Is that true?
True as the crystals cracked. Nobles came and claimed every last one worth his salt. And not just from us Red Wings. You know of the 7 high houses. There must be 2 swords assigned each one. Granted, we have a few boys left. If it's boys you're looking for.
Well, Conrad, are you saying that Dalamel's finest cannot defend this town better than a gaggle of unblooded striplings? That a band of beardless youths could better avenge the deaths of your brave men than you yourselves?
Absolutely not. We'll show those bastards who they're dealing with.
I can't believe that actually worked.
Conrad's not what you called the brightest candle in the crypt. And there's a reason why I had you do the talking and not Sid. Well played, my lady.
I just realised this game has, if I can remember correctly, no mini games.
My shop.
Which
If I had my
I feel like it could do with, like stuff like this where it's just walk, dialogue, walk, dialogue, walk, dialogue. It surely put some mini games or something in here.
Something, and we... Ah, here he is now. Natalie, allow me to introduce Lord Underhill of Randalar's prestigious League of Merchants. Lord Underhill, at your service.
Underhill.
I was just telling the good lady of our conversation, my lord, and how you were lamenting the state of the capital's stores.
Lubor says that not only are the granaries almost empty, but that war and the Blight mean this season's harvest won't be enough to fill them for winter.
Indeed, certainly that is the case.
The nobles in the capital are buying up the city's stocks of barley and wine, driving the prices higher than most commoners can afford. It is only a matter of time before the peasants revolt.
It is worse than I thought. If what Lord Underhill says is true, I fear we have little hope of supplementing our stores. And while I applaud your endeavors to dissuade our more bellicose citizens from seeking vengeance, I sense Conrad is not wrong in his assessment of the bandits' likely return. Which means that now, more than ever, we will need to secure what little we still have. Food, weapons, herbs, everything. If our humble town is to endure not only this hardship, but those that are certain to follow, we must stand united.
All right. If it will help to protect my home, I'll do it. But you needn't have gone through this charade.
Thank you, Clive. Your performance was nothing if not workmanlike.
She saw right through it.
I didn't say it was good, merely that it produced the desired effect. Now, my scouts should be returning shortly. Meet me back at the Briar's Kiss, and we shall see what we face.
Not convinced our roles in this ruse were entirely necessary.
I don't know. Conrad seemed quite taken with you.
Mummy, I'm scared.
Oh, I'm ruined. If you're wondering why Dalimil's in such a sorry state, you can blame the bandits. Them and the mercenaries who are guarding the gates. Though I can hardly fault them for running. Fighting would have meant death. Did for more than a few.
Good news, Sid. Both Conrad and Natalie have somewhat gracefully accepted their new roles. With time, they may even learn to.
Time no longer appears to be the luxury it was before lunch.
I take it your scouts found the bandits.
Technically, it would be the bandits who found my scouts. It appears they march for Dalimil as we speak. All of them.
You're not serious.
They don't just want food, they want the whole damn...
I have a favor to ask. I'm told the bandits march in two groups, one from the south and one from the desert, in a move doubtless intended to stretch our already gossamer-thin defenses.
Very well. Jill and I will meet those from the desert. But what of the rest?
The rest, my friend, the city shall fight. The stakes, I concede, are high. But if this does not unite Dalimil, nothing will.
That is a lot of faith to put into those who had their hands around each other's throats.
Then it will be for us to see that their hands are kept occupied. And I do mean us.
I thought you might say that.
We'll hold them off for as long as we can.
And we will do the same.
The women love to work us.
I'll take that one.
It's all yours.
Stay down!
need to overwhelm us. There's a good boy.
Take this.
Soil and stone! All yours, Torgal. This one. Too slow. Let's try. That's better. Thank you. Get him! Better already. Torgal, kill!
The townspeople. Could they have held out?
I don't hear any fighting. What do you think?
That we should hurry.
Natalie, I owe you an apology. You did well out there. The inn would have been lost had you not held the line.
Without you, there would have been no line to hold. You saved us, Conrad.
We all saved Dalimil.
Conrad seems to have had a change of heart.
I'd say they both have.
I take it from your presence that our visitors from the desert won't be joining us either. Pity.
The plan worked. Granted, it only took an army of bloodthirsty bandits at our gate.
Calm now, Victor. Why quibble over the details? We are united. As for you, Sid, you fight considerably better than you act.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Okay, we've probably got one time to do maybe one more of those. Let's try and do that. I'm guessing it's going to follow the same sort of format, but it'll be a pleasant surprise if it doesn't. Oh, also, I'm just going to purchase this thing. Yeah. Might as well take this to level 4 as well. Still got some points, but we should probably just purchase this one actually. 800 points and we'll get that one. Cool, let's leave.
The Akashic attacked us out of the blue, and there's no telling when they might be back. You'd best keep that sword handy, Sid.
This man's gonna die if we don't get him to a healer.
But all our beds are taken.
Martha, it's good to see you.
And you, Clive. Jill?
Otto said you'd been attacked by Akashic. What exactly happened here?
Those skies are what happened. Not long after they fell dark, we had our first visit. There were hundreds of them. Tried to storm the hill. Only a handful made it up here, but that was more than enough. The rest are still down there now. And while we have a few willing fighters holding them back, they're sorely outnumbered.
What do you think, Clive?
That we join the fight.
I thought you'd never offer. Now, where I need you is the Fallen Gate. That's where the fighting is fiercest. Let the men know you've come to help. Something tells me they'll be pleased to see you.
We're on our way.
Do you think there are as many as Martha says?
More.
You don't think they've abandoned us, do you?
Them not. Not a chance.
Barricades we've set up around the town won't hold the Akashic back for long. Might buy us a few moments to say our last farewell.
Clive, wounded.
We deal with the Akashic first.
These men don't have the look of hired swords.
If you've come to rob this place...
You are mistaken, my Lord Rosfield. We're here by Madame Martha's leave.
How do you know my name?
Forgive me, my lord. There wasn't time for introductions. We're with the Guardians of the Flame.
Wade's men? But how did you come to be here? Where is your commander?
Sir Wade left earlier with a scouting party to find out where the Akashic were coming from.
Did he? Take your wounded back to the inn. Martha will see you're looked after. We'll join you anon.
And to think you took them for thieves. A fine reward for holding off the horde, that is.
When did Wade and his men arrive?
Not long after Rosalith fell. The Guardians asked me to shelter some of them that had lost their homes. They were making ready to leave just as the skies turned, and we agreed it was best we stuck together.
Martha! Trouble! The scouting party's almost at the lift, but they got a pack of Akashic snapping at their heels! And they got wounded with them! They're not gonna make it!
Damn it all.
We'll worry about them, Martha.
You look after everyone here. If any can still fight, send them to the lift.
I will. You two be safe now. The lift can only carry a few at a time. If the those Akashic get as far as the cliff, Wade's men will have nowhere to run.
My brothers. Are they?
Mad dogs. The lot of them.
After it.
Squire, I need you to get those who can still walk up the lift to Martha's. But what about... I didn't ask, Oscar. Sir.
Sir Wade.
Lord Rossfield. If you aren't a sight for sore eyes.
Martha seemed to think you might need some help. And by the looks of it...
We thought we could sneak by them. But we didn't know there would be so many. How could we have?
Behind you!
Damn it! We need to get the injured to safety.
Do you think we can hold them off?
We can certainly try. Are you with us, Sir Wade?
Always.
Then let's do our duty.
Is anyone hurt?
I don't think so.
And yet again, you've pulled me from the flames.
You've never been one to shy away from danger, Sir Wade.
I see you're all in one piece.
Martha!
Is something wrong?
The lookout saw smoke coming from down Eastpool way. Too thick to be a hearth.
A second horde.
Feel like finishing the job?
Always.
Jill and I will make for Eastpool. You'll need to move the injured without us.
Don't you worry about them.
Okay, I don't actually have time to do this second part. Yeah, I do not. So, I'll just save and we'll just continue finishing this one another time. Because, yeah, I'm not going to make it in time. I need to stop so I can eat and sleep soon because work in the morning. I'll head towards it and then I'll save when I'm out there. Hopefully I can actually do that. Or maybe it won't let me.
Fiends try to climb the walls here too. Founder knows where they're gonna show their ugly faces next.
Yeah. I'm not gonna risk it. We'll save it here. Okay, as expected, it was a bit of a slightly filler side questy, but to be honest, it's quite good because like reuniting with Wade and stuff like that, revisiting some of these places is quite cool. So it's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. And these little mini bosses are quite fun as well. So yeah, not too bad. But we'll pick up where we left off next time.